it sounds like you're saying if it strikes fear, it's less likely to be true or real?
Possibly, yes. I, I think so.
What's your name?
Chris.
Chris?
Mm-hmm.
Chris?
Yes, sir.
Awesome. Good to meet you, Chris. I'm David.
I'm Jeff.
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
All right. So, just to kind of explain what we're doing,
Okay.
we're out here conducting interviews in this community about something that you're convinced is true about the world,
Okay.
something that's meaningful to you. And
That's a difficult question.
what I'll do is I'll ask questions. I forgot to put my thing here. About how you arrived at your conclusion and what supports your confidence that it's true. Does that sound good?
Yeah, it might be difficult for me to answer, but yeah.
Yeah, no problem. What I'll have you do is think of something that you think is true, something that you're fairly confident in, something that's meaningful to you, something that you think is currently true in the world. So not like a prediction. The first question I'll have is when somebody says that something is true, how do you interpret that? What is your definition for true?
Okay. So meaning like, so so the question is, what is my perception of truth?
Right.
Okay. That's a difficult one. I guess it's many different factors. So, and it also depends on, I guess, the topic or situation.
Okay. What makes something true or real in your mind?
Uh, I mean, it's kind of an obvious one. I mean, to make something real is you can touch it, feel it, see it.
Okay.
So therefore, your perception of you witnessing it makes it true. If somebody tells you something, then they would have to explain it in a way to where you understand that person's viewpoint, even though you've never witnessed whatever they're saying at all to be true. So they would have to, I guess, persuade you in believing what is true in their eyes for you to also follow them.
Okay.
They believe. If that makes sense?
Yeah. So what I'm hearing is if you can sense it yourself,
Yes.
that's a good reason to think that something is true or real.
Yes.
And you can also gather knowledge about something being true if somebody is able to persuade you that it's true.
Yes.
And to kind of have you see what they saw or experience what they saw in their mind.
Yes.
Okay. All right. Could someone see or feel or hear something that is not true or real?
Yes.
Okay.
Because, well, the way I view that and how I feel towards that question is, so everyone's mind is different. No two minds are the same.
Mm-hmm.
So, with that being said, and with the mind being such a vast thing that nobody really truly understands,
Mm-hmm.
in one person's mind, they feel, again, or they've seen whatever they believe in, and to them, it just feels real.
Mm-hmm.
Like, just an example, to kind of so you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Like, for example, like if out in the distance you see nothing, but to a certain person they could see a figure,
Mm-hmm.
but you don't see that figure. They see that figure, but in their mind, that figure is there. I can see it. It is standing right there,
Mm-hmm.
but there's nothing there. So to them, they're like, "Well, you're crazy if you can't see it. I'm literally watching it right now, and it's walking towards us."
Mm-hmm.
Not saying that there is anything, but
Right.
yes.
So
So
that's an example of two people seeing different things, or one person seeing something and the other person not seeing it. How could we tell if it's true or real?
that's where it gets difficult because you really can't. I guess in society, what I guess is more logical kind of passes in a sense, or what doesn't strike fear kind of passes in that sense. Um, but yeah,
Logical and doesn't strike fear?
yeah.
Okay. What do you mean by logical?
So if you think of it in the aspect of you had five people, right? Out of that five, four people don't see anything,
Mm-hmm.
but one does.
Okay.
Well, logically, the numbers, well, if four people don't see it and that one does, well, he's a weirdo.
Okay. It's less likely that it's real if one person sees it and four people don't.
Correct.
Okay, and that's what you mean by logical?
Kind of, yes.
Okay.
At least in my definition.
Okay. And then what doesn't strike fear? So can you say a little bit more about that and how that relates to something being real or true?
So, using like as an example, let's say COVID,
Mm-hmm.
right? None of us are doctors, right? So we don't have the knowledge of doctors. Do we know if COVID was a real thing? Was it not? We don't know. So basically, we're taking the words of, I guess, doctors of however degree, whatever. A lot of us got scared, like, oh well,
Right.
I could die,
Mm-hmm.
if I don't get this vaccine. Um, do we believe in the evidence that was presented to us, like the cases of like people, getting sick and then dying? A lot of us did, so therefore a lot of us took the vaccine.
Mm-hmm.
Now a lot of us didn't because they were just like, I think we'll be fine,
Uh-huh.
which a lot of people were fine without the vaccine. So with, again, using COVID as an example, so that scared a lot of people into therefore taking the vaccine that they may or may not have needed.
Oh, okay. It sounds like you're saying if it strikes fear, it's less likely to be true or real?
Possibly, yes. I, I think so. I know I'm may not be answering it correctly,
Okay.
but I'm trying
Is
to use another. I'll try to use another example. Um, let's use ghosts.
ghosts? Okay.
Ghosts, right? So ghosts. With ghosts, a lot of people believe in them. A lot of people don't. Okay. In order for a person that's a non-believer to therefore believe that that there's a ghost or a possible entity or whatever,
Mm-hmm.
right? Um, it has to strike fear into you to believe it.
Oh, okay. So in this case, if you get fear, it's more likely to be true or real.
Possibly, yes. Yes.
Okay. So it sounds like fear can lead you either way.
Yes.
So why is fear a good reason or a good method to use if something's true or real if it can take you either way?
Say that question one more time.
Since fear can drive you towards believing something or towards not believing something, why is fear a good thing to use to determine if something's true or real?
Well, I think it goes back to the way, I guess, the mind works. So, and I really can't answer this 110% because I'm not an expert in this.
Mhm.
But I guess apparently, as a person, like you kind of want to live your life in the most peaceful way possible. Kind of,
Peaceful? Okay.
right? Now, if something scared you hard, like for example, again, go back onto the ghost topic.
Hmm.
If in your house, you purchase your house, you want to have your, significant other, you want a nice quiet, you want to go to work, come back. But if something happened in that house to where it makes you uncomfortable and fearful
Uh-huh.
of being there in there, you would no longer want to be in that situation.
Because you would rather live in peace.
Yes.
Okay. If I wanted to know what was true or real, should I use fear to guide me?
Um, if you wanted to know if something was true or real, you would have to eliminate the the fear aspect. So therefore, you would have to kind of overcome what scares you.
Okay. So you would suggest that I try to take fear out of the equation totally, it sounds like.
Yes, and use more information. Like the more information you have,
Uh-huh.
I feel like it would help you come to the conclusion of what can be real and what is not.
Okay, so like back to the logical part.
Yes.
So like if if I and four other people walked into a house and I felt fear like it was haunted or something, and the four people I was with didn't feel anything, it would be more likely that the house was not haunted.
It's a possibility, yes. It could be you being stuck in, well, I'm scared. It's dark. It's cold. I don't know what's going on.
Hmm.
Um, but if you were to take a second, kind of assess what's going on, a lot of stuff, like, again, in that aspect of being haunted or ghosts or whatever, a lot of it can be debunked.
Hmm.
Like, for example, if it was cold and you're, oh man, it's haunted. Well, shoot, window could be open.
Uh-huh.
Gust of wind could have just blew and you got the chills. You happen to be standing in the correct area at the correct time.
Yeah.
You know, same thing if a door closed. Again, using the gust of wind, it could have just slammed that door closed. You just happen to be in the right area at the right time.
Gotcha.
But if you eliminate that and just kind of view it as like an open book, and could be debunked.
Is there anything that you believe is true or real based on fear?
Um, Me personally, um, no. But at the same time, there probably are situations that I wouldn't want to be in to experiment that. Again, that's I feel is a normal
Yeah.
situation. Like trying to think of an example to give you.
Yeah, is fear ever useful?
Uh, in my perception, no.
Okay.
Um,
Why not?
to find out if something is true,
Uh-huh.
again, that's going to be down to the person because I
You'd
know a
rather
lot
use
of,
the logic?
yes.
Okay.
I feel logic is more safe. If you try to use the fear aspect, it's hard to overcome fear.
Yeah.
Um, like if you have a fear of, I don't know, of water,
Or alligators.
yeah, or alligators, right? Um,
We were
you
talking about that a little bit ago.
Yeah, to overcome that, you would have to go and physically touch, and you would have to come to the logical realization that, all right, alligators are not that bad,
Yeah.
but a lot of us are not going to go walk up to an
Right.
alligator and test that theory.
Right.
It's same thing with like arachnophobia. People that don't like spiders and stuff like that. They just can't come to that conclusion. Whatever in their being will not allow them to believe a spider is not going to bite you.
It kind of takes over your ability to think logically.
Yes.
Okay,
Yes.
cool. So last question. Next time that you feel fear, what are you going to do to overcome your fear so that you can think more logically? What process are you going to take? What steps would you take to do that?
Me personally, or just in general?
Just you personally. Next time you are faced with a fear and you want to know if it's true or real, what are you going to do to overcome that fear so you can think more logically?
What I do in that situation, with something that scares me, is I think of the possible outcomes.
Okay.
If it's less of a risk for me to do with less of a negative impact, I will go ahead and do it. But if that consequence is greater than the benefit, I won't do it.
So like risk versus reward
Yes.
assessment.
Yes.
Okay. Cool. Great, Chris. You have any questions for me?
Not really. I mean,
How do you feel about how the interview went?
well, pretty good. I hope I delivered.
Yeah, absolutely. That was great.
Good conversation.
Yeah. Yeah, that was cool. Appreciate it.
All right.
Yeah, if you have a phone, you can scan that QR code and that takes you right to my YouTube channel
Okay.
where you can see a bunch of these conversations.
All right.
Yeah, I'd invite you to do that, and yeah, have a great day.
You too.
Enjoy the weather.
Yeah, it's real nice. It is real nice outside.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you, Chris.
All right, man.
Yeah.
It's really coming down. Do you have something in mind?
How you doing?
All right.
Thanks for stopping by.
Yeah, no problem. Anytime.
Y'all enjoy the rest of your day.
Take care. Yeah, go for it. And if any one of y'all want to do an interview, we'll be here for a little while. Yeah.
Thanks, Chris.
That was cool.
Yeah, man.
It was. It's a different approach there. But I liked it. It was kind of how to maybe solve a future problem, or how to maybe think more logically in the future about a thing.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
It's, I guess I just never thought about it. I guess before I went on my little journey, if someone had asked me, how do I determine if something's true or not, who knows what I would have said, right?
Yeah.
Who knows, man?
Yeah.
I probably would have said something stupid like if it lines up with biblical principles or something dumb like that. Shit, you're not.
Yeah.
You can't be serious, dude.
Or if I feel it in my heart.
Something dumb, yeah. It would have been something dumb, probably.
Yeah.
But you know what's frustrating is I'm not a dumb person. Right?
Yeah, that can cause some frustration in the world, that's for sure.
But it also helps me remember these other people aren't dumb people either.
Yeah.
Right. And gives me a little compassion and grace. Right?
Yeah. If I was the smartest person in the world, I think I'd be the most frustrated person in the world too.
Well,
You know what I
think-
mean?
But there was a philosopher, and I can never quote it rightly, but he said something along the lines of, it's the fate of the intelligent to live in a world where they realize that everybody else is just fucking idiots.
Yeah.
There's nobody driving this bus.
Yeah.
It's just,
Or like when you find yourself like in a work environment and it's like it just seems everyone around you just doesn't get it, and it's like how frustrating that can potentially be.
Well, I'm fortunate now that my work environment is controlled by me. I get to hire the people, so
You're the only dumbass in the room.
if I hire the wrong guy, it's my problem.
Great.
I hire my problems.